this is so hi. So the thumbnail, by the way, I will talk a little bit about that later. But first, I will put up an image here, so you don't have to look at an empty screen. So yeah, I thought this could. Oh, you don't see all of them because of this little box at the. All right, but anyway, actually, that is the chakra that I need to work with the most, the mother chakra. Anyway, Mother Earth, the groundedness, belongingness, everything like that. So, anyways, for this little one, maybe I should first quickly say about this little thumbnail. That's me as a kid. My dad was taking care of me and my brother. We were like quite tiny at the time, and my mom was as this story goes, sunbathing for a while, and he would then look after us too. And meanwhile, I was clinging onto one of those. There was a thread with what can you say? In the water, there were like those things that hold up a line or whatever you could say. And he put me onto that so I could hold on to with it with my hands, while my brother was at the what is that called when you usually have them by a lake or something, like where you can walk out on them, like, and not trampoline or something, but just a general wooden, like I don't know what it's called in English actually, but a smaller one, like, anyways. So he suddenly walked there and fell in and he fell into the water and got under this little whatever it's called. So my dad was going to save him then, and me, when he put me onto that thing where I can hold on to with my hands, then it went down, so I went under the water. So meanwhile, for those few seconds he was taking care of us, we both nearly lost our lives. So that's when I'm sitting there. I think it's the same time when they afterwards put on some blanket around me, and so anyways, wow. Already then, I mean, really, well. So I just didn't know what to put up there. So, but anyways, now the tag is like this. It's about to calm the nervous system, which decks and so on. Oh, I just forgot. I was going to take some. Well, I forgot, so it's okay with that. I was going to. I have some books to each of the decks also, but a couple of them I don't have them here right now. So anyway, maybe I can get back to that if I want to, or if you want to. So there are a few questions, 9 questions here. And I will put in the description box, I will put the questions down if someone else is interested in this, to as a tag for those who are interested in tarot and I don't have. Some people have collections, like collecting them purposely. I have hundreds of decks, but I don't collect them as I think of it, as with books. And so I kind of hoard rather. I want new. I mean, I'm drawn to several decks and so on. And there are several decks that I'm drawn to that I don't have as well, because I have to keep myself. I don't have time to use all the decks that I have. So anyways, here is like 9 questions then for this. And if you want to do this tag, maybe I went into the person whom this come from is Cameron. Cameron. Wow, how can I even lose her last name? It's like fun. Oh, I thought about Cameron Diaz now. That's why I lost her last name. Cameron. I should know this. I don't know why I forget it right now. Anyways, I will put it in the description box. And she have gotten this from someone else, maybe on mail or so, because I couldn't find that one. There is a link beneath her video, but I couldn't, when I clicked to that, I don't get to some video. So I Googled also and found some page, but anyways, so it goes sometimes to people that are directed, like, here you could like tag this, but since it's official, I mean, anyone I assume can tag it, at least I will. So if someone protests, then well, I don't care. So they won't though. But anyway, so personally, I don't really feel that tarot is where I go if I want to calm my nervous system. But there are people who work with tarot in various ways, of course, and I understand how that can be a way, and sometimes it can be because it also distracts and gives light to new solutions and such like that. So, and also this is a pod. I forgot to mention that in the description box. So it's not so fun because you won't see the decks. I'm just having it as pod because I'm too lazy right now for something else. Yeah. So as I don't do this mainly for those purposes, I maybe do other things like meditation or whatever, honestly, and also polyvagal practices. If you have heard about that, that's marvelous also. But getting to the decks now, still they are important to me, very much so. I also, as a psychic medium, as many are, work with decks. I don't work with the decks in that way intuitively, yes, but usually I don't connect with that. I have a deck that is just white. I mean, it looks like those common Rider White ones, but it's just, it's 78 cards, and you can like paint your own deck, and that was the purpose from the beginning. But since I see moving images in them, so I feel like that is like to limit the cards. But I do think that they are different, although they look on the surface similar or the same, actually, just white. But to me, that is like the most, let's say, psychic deck that I have. But so I generally go directly to communicate with the spirits if I really need guidance or something. So, but anyways, and then these tools are more like very fun, but also easier. If I want to do, for today, for example, I had a reading for someone. Usually I do mediumship reading. That's what people ask for from me to do. And so then I sit some hour beforehand, write it down, and I read it to them, and then give the things that I've written down to them as well when we meet. If we meet, if it's on distance, I don't. But anyways, and then I also can tune in meanwhile, and when I talk to them, and so if there are additional thoughts or something they want me to tune into. But since that takes more energy from me, way more, both time and energy, I would say. So it's more easy for me to not connect those, but I can. Yeah, anyways, moving into this topic now. The questions are like this, the 9 questions. A deck that instantly soothes my nerves. Number 2, a deck that helps me to feel all my feelings, the comfortable, the painful, the confusing, I mean, yeah. Actually, I'm not really, never mind, I will just read them now. A deck that reconnects me with my physical body. That was number 3. Fourth, a deck with that allow me to harness the power and protection of the 4 elements. Number 5, a deck that helps me to breathe deeply and fully. And number 6, a deck that regulates my connecting. A deck that regulates by connecting me with nature and helping me to ground my energy. Number 7, a deck that refocuses me on my own present moment reality and my personal truth, and 8, a deck that reflects my innate spiritual power and wisdom, and number 9, a deck whose beauty is so divine that it transmutes and any darkness and connects me to my heart. And I mean, it's very, very hard to choose. I love all my decks. They are like personalities. I mean, persons almost. I mean, I can't not like them. There are few that I have a stronger connection to and understand better or so on. But yeah. Anyways, I will start, and maybe if someone comes in, or maybe anyways, I will pick cards from them as well. So you get a feel for them, how they can express themselves, or at least how I can connect with them and interpret them. Even if you can't see them, I can describe a bit. So the first deck here, anyway, actually is one of my newest decks that I have wanted for so long. And it's only for the aces in this deck. They have come up when I've Googled images for tarot and so on. And I just felt, oh, what is this? So I will have to, they say that I need to put down a link that slows down this connection to the internet. So, okay, hope this helps. Anyways, so I have this argument with AI. How stupid is that? I get really upset. Well, anyway, so that was like a long row of stuff related to this, actually, related to a deck that I will get to soon. Yeah. Anyways, the first deck, a deck that instantly soothes my nerves. Well, maybe I'm lying now, but this is one of my newest decks, and that is one that I have a book as well that is connected to. I usually just work with decks. I don't really read about them. I even not read a little pamphlet. When I was younger, I also just started using cards, like more than, let's see now, more than 30 years ago. But after that, I put my fingers up to anyway, to remember that. But there is a little pamphlet here. But usually I didn't do that even from the beginning. I usually did it afterwards. I started to work with them, and then I checked sometimes. But usually I just saw what they wanted to say immediately. So that have been my way. But I like to understand the variations of the deck. So I really like to read them, but I'm too lazy. So usually I just do it here. But then again, this deck is called the Gothic Tarot and illustrated by Joseph Vago. And also I will have a tarot group this autumn that I will teach tarot for 8 times once a month. If someone is interested that lives in Skellefteå then. But anyways, so he also have several wonderful decks that I'm so drawn to. Others, this is the only one that I have. By this one, illustrated by, I wonder whomever made it then. Isn't it the same? I can't even read it in the back. But what I was drawn to here, I haven't, as I said, worked with this a lot. You couldn't find it like on usual shops that I went into, so I had to have someone. I don't use money online, so I had someone who could purchase it for me, and I paid him and so. But it's very much black and red. It's a little bit maybe spooky, someone would say, or darker. But I think what suits my nerve. Oh, I get so much chills when I look at this. But the aces, especially, they are like so beautiful. They are. I feel some. I don't know. I feel like they are very powerful. Just as tools, almost like real tools. That's what I feel with this deck. But how does it soothe my nerves? Then you can wonder, why do I take some like a dark sort of deck? I love those. I also love another deck, the Zombie Tarot that I have, that is so humoristic. This was not on the questionnaire, which one is most fun, but that one I giggle a whole lot. It's also very efficient. You can really easily understand the meanings of the cards in that deck, but it's still I think it was ephemeral rift that had that on YouTube. He doesn't do tarot generally, and I don't know if he really believes in that or so. But it was when he used that deck that I felt that I needed it. But anyway, moving back to this deck. I think it's the fact that it allows intensity, and it suits me that somehow it's not aggressive, I wouldn't say, but it's shadowy. It's a little bit vampirish. It's a little bit like there are gargoyles and there are like the calming darkness is there, if you can say. I'm a person who loves so-called bad weathers. I love when it's pouring rain, or even easier raindrops on the whatever. Now I start to just hear that song, raindrops. Never mind. Oh, well, when it's like dark or cloudy skies, even thunder and lightning, even better. I get all exhilarated. I get so calm. I get happy. Even it's like it soothes me so much. So I think it's that the fact that you can be in touch with darkness, so called, and at the same time, I mean, the thing that soothes me with that is the fact that it's allowed. I think that I can feel these things and the power of these emotions, and still, yeah, I think it's the whole thing that it's allowed to be in touch with mysterious things that I don't understand, and power and stuff that others may avoid, or yeah, stuff like that. I don't know if I make sense here, but that's the one. That's the one deck that came to mind anyway. And also the backside. I go very much about the backsides of decks. I don't know why. It started many years ago when I see when people do tarot readings online or so, and I see a certain deck that have a back side that I'm drawn to. I just have to have that deck. I don't even know the front of it. I don't have to know. But this one is black and red, obviously, but on the back as well. I think it's the dramatic thing of it makes me calm. It's like, I think maybe it's the thing that it's outside of me then, and then I can be calm because the drama is there with the deck. Kind of, it seems like almost like a sigil of sorts, sword like I don't know what it is, kind of sigil, but I like this deck very much, but I haven't worked with it yet, though. I mean, yeah, I have worked with it yet, but not very much. So because I have too many, but it's not that I don't want to. So let's see now. And I wish I had the whole book here so I can maybe read a little bit about this deck to make it justice, since you can't see it. But yeah, there is also, when it's several videos online where they walk around on, let's say, beautiful old graveyards, like in France, like in Paris, some old. Also, they are so very beautiful at places. It's the same. I don't know. It's also when darkness can be relaxing, when it's night, everything is still silent, there is a sense of, there is a still power and I don't know, something. Can't even describe it really well, but it's calming to me. So that's why I chose this deck. So I will pick a card from each of them meanwhile, and then maybe go back to them then. So this, yeah. And usually what is upsetting maybe in my nerves is that anger or something like that. So I can like allow it and also have it there, and then I can be calm. If if you feel very heated in whatever way, then it's not so relaxing. Maybe if someone says like, wow, love and light, everything is sweet, and you just get super upset. Like, not always, I'm not saying I love that too, but Okay, we'll pull a card from these and let's see if they have something to convey for now. And I think each deck have very, very different vibe. As I said, it's like personalities. They're very different. And the more you work with them, the more you get to understand and know them, so to speak. The card that came up here is Knight of Wands reversed. And here it's like an angel. It's almost like a similar card as, weird to me though, but as the Archangel Michael or something that is standing on top of a snake-like figure, maybe having not a spear here then, but a wand then. Being like in charge here. I don't know about this. I will see what it says in the little tiny. And underneath is judgment. And underneath that is not Knife of Wands reversed. That's the Gorgon sitting with his wand as well. But on the judgment card, there is like this. It looks like a graveyard with a statue of an angel, and there is a woman coming up from the. It's very, very beautiful. The art from an old grave, like as a scepter, is that the word? But like a ghost or spirit, just white or transparent, a little bit, lifting up from that grave, kind of. Yeah, it's very beautiful, but this is also reversed. And actually, I got this card today when I did this reading today, and I think it could be indecisiveness sometimes. The interpretation when it's reversed. Shall I go forward with my life, or should I like stay passive in this place, like being almost quote unquote dead? Should I evolve? So, yeah. Very beautiful, though. I absolutely adore them, all the cards. But I wouldn't want to work with this extremely often. But if I want to calm my nerves, I guess I would get calmer. But we will at least look at these Knights of Wands, what it says here. I will see. Although I have a larger... I don't know if that is good even since I haven't read the book, but I do have books, though. So let's see. Knights of Wands in this. Maybe it says reversals, I thought. And I have dark here, so I can't almost read, which is not very smart then. But here we have Knight of Wands reversed. An indicator, I think it says, an indicator of danger, disillusionment, or an interruption of plans. Oh, that seems valid for that card. So I just need to read the upright as well because of the beautiful image, although it came reversed. Well-liked, virtuous, energetic, and headstrong, unpredictable, and an indicator of a departure or change of residence. All right. Haven't thought about that for that card so often, but still, I don't really see the connection to this image. I think I would interpret this very, very intuitively anyways, but this headstrong thing, wanting to be on top and win, and so I understand how that comes along with this Knight of Wands, though. But and this it's not a dragon, it's like a snake, but still I feel that's like such a positive thing for me. That's like the energy. So it becomes a little bit odd for me, that image. But anyways, moving on. I think this still, I'm not sure. I will work with it a little bit more. Maybe it upsets me a bit, though. So, but you have a lot of also oracle deck. A lot of, I don't know actually, but at least a few that I've felt like I want them to because of their images and the clarity of what the cards say. I understand how they can really clarify certain things if you have questions. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it's the whole thing that the subconscious thing or the things you're drawn to but maybe avoid, or even it's called the Gothic tarot. You understand the whole vibe of the Gothic things. That's the beauty in that as well. And maybe thrill, you could say. So I'm not sure though if it instantly soothes my nerves, but I chose that deck anyway because I think just mainly because of the allowance of being in that space, allowing the darkness as a soothing force, and also beautiful, and also embracing the maybe shadow aspects sometimes of yourself and such. Well, anyway, next then, a deck that helps me to feel all my feelings, the comfortable, the painful, the confusing. And I chose then Stranger Things. And I think I haven't even seen the last. I have to actually do that. I don't have Netflix. That's my problem here. But I will have to see the end. I thought when I started to see it that was what was actually that was the whole series, and it wasn't, and that bugs me. But so I haven't even seen the end of it. But still, this deck were made before that, so its images and so on is related to to what was in the series at the time then. So this actually is also it says Stranger Things at the back, and it's also black and very red. But yeah, if you have seen Stranger Things, you may understand this. I don't know. I love the series. I guess that's why I so much love so many things in it. It's so symbolic to me. And also when it comes to society, it has so much to say, much more than just a fun series. So yeah, and also obviously all those many strange emotions also in the series. But I will pick a card now for it. I don't know how to explain this better, but then it it captures so many areas. It captures many abilities that people do not have. It captures helpful people that don't really see. It captures various levels of reality also, and how that can also be confusing, dangerous, and rewarding, and how, well, yeah, it just shows so many things. I don't know how to explain it better, so I will just pick a card here from, and let's see what the deck itself says. Yeah, and since it reminds me of the a series so much, I just love. I just love. Here comes the sun, but reversed. How fun! And underneath is Knights of Wands. I guess this would be them. They have different words for it here. It's kind like called. I have it in Swedish, so I don't know what it says in English, but it's like those lights where you put up with. In the series, I had like different colored lights on the wall, and her son, Winona Ryder, is playing the mom there. Her son was lost in some other reality or whatever, and she put those up on the wall. If I recall that right, and he could like make them blink in certain ways, so she understood what he wanted to communicate to her, and so on and so forth. Anyways, here underneath is the Knight of Wands, if you translate it. And here's this pizza guy who was like high all the time, I guess, and just chill. Interesting for that. We just had the Knight, I guess, of Wands in the other deck, and that's way different vibe. But this is still, yeah, I kind of get it though. It's also the kind of heat of where you're in the environment and the heat of the food and all kinds of stuff. Um, and the sunny outlook, this or chill vibe this guy had. Anyway, so and how valuable those also are in life. Some people that just go around kind of not super aware, maybe, but still they bring lots of good stuff in their surroundings just by being. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, this is reversed, so I think this is like a wish card, like as if one would want things to be simple and just happy and almost like hippie-ish, so to speak. Everybody be nice and we can share some pizza. No, I don't know. And the underneath cards, as I interpret them, that's like the underneath motivation or the maybe sometimes subconscious motivations of stuff. I think there are various ways people interpret what's the underneath card represent, and I also think that that's very seldom expressed. People just say the underneath card without like saying what it stands for. Like, but anyways, that's how I interpret it. And then at the top here, we it jumped out this sun card reversed. Yeah, and that actually says very much the same thing as the underneath card here, because that's the longing for this innocent, uh, childlike, and naked, just the spirit of the playfulness and not having to be to protect oneself, just being in a loving connection with all of life, honestly. Those sunny summer days you recall as a child, maybe, at least I, that there was always, although I didn't like sun much then, I kind of liked it also, but it was always sunny in summer, as I recall. It wasn't because I also then chased the lightning and there were those hail kind of rains and stuff, I recall, but mainly but this the inner sun, this happiness, this that people are sweet, mean well towards each other, all that. This is reversed then as the underneath card also, and I think this is the longing for that kind of situation where people don't have mean intent and people don't have some strange agenda when they connect with you and want things. And it's very difficult for someone like me who is very perceptive and very intuitive and also medium. I mean, I have my guides, they will, I get more and more also distinct in that. I feel very minor levels of what can you say, when it's out of tune or something. I kind of know it instantly, although I sometimes block it and let things go on. But I know it. I know it so much, and I know it so much in advance, and it makes me a little bit disturbed because I mean, I guess because people think that they can fool me so much, and I knew it before they even had the thought, sort of, and it bugs me. But previously, I was very naive, though. But this longing for a world that where that is okay to have this uh, natural naivety where everything is, yeah, sweet, like yeah, that is what the cards talk about. These cards talk about, and these cards I absolutely love. They are bright very much, but also, and also that they were children in that series, and I think that's why they have this sort of it's a kindness and they are soft even to touch. To me, it means very much how I feel the cards. They are soft in the backside. They are soft to when you hold around the edge. So the whole deck has a softness. I can't really describe it better. And the size of them as well is like perfect for my hands, kind of. Yeah. But I think this deck is more fun, obviously, if you have seen the series, and I have to see the last season of it, obviously. Especially if to work with this deck, it probably gives some more insight into things. Yeah, everything in that is like it's very synchronized. Also, sometimes I think this. Well, everything is, but I think this deck in itself speaks to me so much because it is synchronized with many other things that happened in my life and so on. So yeah, I love it very much. Yeah. Yeah. And it also because that it is children, I think I get in touch also with all those emotions. I mean, things back in time and when things developed in some way or another. And yeah, it's like also very much about solving things, finding out, they are searching for this one who disappeared, and it's like all the things around what's happening and so on. Yeah, I won't go further into that, but it's a light car deck still, although it maybe not seems like it to me. It is though. Anyway, then we have the third is a deck that reconnects me with my physical body, and this is the only one that I chose that is a. Actually, did I do that? Yeah, it's an oracle deck, and that is the wisdom of the House of Night. And that actually, I should read those. Why haven't I? Because the deck is fantastic. It's not so many cards, even, but yeah, it's also very black. I don't know. I have a lot of cards that are very bright. I'm not drawn to them as much, obviously, it seems. But this one, it's also the sides of the this is not an unboxing video, but still, it was one of the first, or maybe one of the only decks. I have a few decks with those silvery edges, so it's like a mirror at the sides, and I just was so fascinated by that in the beginning as well. And it's like uh, the 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 moon faces in the back, and you can almost interpret it as anyways. But this comes from I guess novel or something, a fantasy book or something. Let's see here. Did I even say Stranger Things who made this? But yeah, I think it's like come from this Netflix series anyway, so you can find out who did that. Anyways, this is I don't know. It's like Nyx, the goddess of night, also here. It just says what you can read it for, and that's the tiny. It comes from the wisdom of the hidden realms and wisdom of. I don't see what it says even because it's very small. Small letters. Let's see. But it's related still to some fantasy book. And wisdom of Avalon, it says here. I haven't even read that before. After, but it's maybe says something more inside here. Let's see. As I said, I very much start to work with the decks, and I don't even. I should probably. The story of the Oracle of Nyx. I'll read that first. And this was, as I said, the deck that reconnects me to my physical body. Yeah, it does really. It's very clear, although there are not so many cards to choose from. One morning, when the mists hung thickly in the air above the ancient castle on the Isle of Skye, the immortal vampire queen, I don't know how you should say this, sketch, I don't know, was unusually restless. She had retired to her sumptuous bedchamber as dawn had peeked its head above the horizon, and at first, Sketch, interesting name related to several, never mind about, enter the realm of dreams easily, as always ready to surrender to the peace of the sweetly waiting blackness, as I mentioned before. Then something shifted, changed, and she slipped into a different reality. Sketch found herself wandering in a world between worlds. She was in her own groove, the place she held most sacred on her misty island. It was the same and yet not, as if uh, she had just been introduced to a familiar stranger. Sketch wandered through the new. Oh, it was quite long. Dreamscape, knowing she was in another more powerful state of alertness. Her very spirit was vibrating with attention. Something important was happening. This dream, she realized, is a sacred vision. She began to hear. I just read weirdly, but I've never read this before ever, so I don't know what to come. She began to hear the whisper of the familiar voice. Nyx, the goddess of night, was calling her by name. Sketch was compelled forward to its source. Sketch, come, my daughter. Come to the wall. Come and find me. It is time. It is time. Sketch followed the sound of Nyx's voice to, to the boundary of the dream version of the groove, where a section of the ancient stone wall had begun to glow. Just as she reached out her hand to touch the magical wall, everything went black, and she heard Nyx's voice saying, "Remember." Sketch fell into deep sleep and dreamed no more. As the sun was setting into the blue gray waters that surrounded her isle, and the sky was painted with indigo and black, Sketch awoke. Immediately, the vampire queen recalled her experience. Fleet and eager, she hurried to her beautiful sacred grove and searched the boundary wall for the area she had seen in her vision. There, at exactly the place she had reached out to touch in the vision grove, four stones were loose, as if the mortar that held them together for centuries had suddenly dissolved. Sketch pried out one of the stones with her hands, and then another until she spotted a deerskin bundle tied with a black string. Her own seal, thousands of years old, was stamped in a blood red wax atop the string. There was no doubt this was meant for her. Oh, this was even several pages. I never knew. What? Okay, okay. I will just. It's not so long though, but I will keep going. She unwrapped the skin and saw a primitive sketch of what appeared to be Zoe on its outer side. Amazed Sketch discovered that it contained thin pieces of slate with exquisite symbols etched upon them. She counted 51 pieces in all. The last was larger and different from the others. It was inscribed with words in an ancient language. One sketch recognized immediately, though it has not been spoken since the first dark daughters and sons had come into existence on this very isle. Reverently, the queen read. And I don't know how you pronounce that name, by the way. It sounds like sketch. There is a goddess. However, I don't even know how a Celtic goddess, really how to say her name, but I really adore her. Anyways, maybe that is also infused here. Reverently, the queen read, Sketch, my beloved daughter, you have been called to this place to receive my words and to know my bidding. Long ago, When those stones were first placed to build the boundary of this sacred groove, I invoked the elements and commanded they come together to create a place of gift inside this wall. I have long been waiting for the time when a young fledgling worthy of my mark would be born. I have foreseen this since since the days before time begun. I know that when the house of night would be built okay, in a place called America, that a generation of young people would ignite the vampire blood of their ancestors, my first dark daughters and sons. I decree that you must transcribe my words and symbols and send my guidance out into the mortal world for those who are not marked, but have even a trace of the old magic in their blood. The world needs the wisdom of my daughters and sons so that anger can change to love, confusion can become clarity, and all who seek truth can strive for peace and acceptance. This is my wisdom. This is my oracle. This is how my children can communicate with my essence, my words, and know my love for them. Do this, beloved Sketch, so my children will awaken the magic in their blood and move through the confusion and chaos of the modern world empowered and wise. So it will be now and forevermore. Then Sketch, vampire queen and beloved of Nyx, passed her goddess's sacred gifts to Zoe and the modern world. You know, you now have this gift in your hands, beloved one. What power will you discover? And then there comes to this purpose of the cards and how to use them and how to ask questions. But I, as I said, haven't even read that. But that's part of this fantasy book then. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, as there are very common examples here, how you can read and so on. But anyway, and there are also some questions related, even that so and everything that is related to what some of the cards are called. But now we will just see what the message is now. Then, as I said, this is the deck that reconnects me with my physical body. It also feels like I'm born to be here exactly now. And now I know that I've been meant to be every place I've ever been when I was there. And also some of the trees here in Nordano and Skellefteå, they are like grooves. They're like a few trees and there is like an opening into it. It seems like they are planted like that in a ritualistic, sacred way. You know, there are many things around here that is a little bit like that. And I love it. So let's see now. Okay. A card for us all from this deck. Mm-hmm. I guess there may be 55 cards or something. We could, or 44 or something. They mentioned 55 there, so maybe it is. So there, no, it have to be like 55 because now it's number 46, 37, and 12 here. Anyways, the first card is a card for choices. There is a angel or beautiful man. There is the owl of night flying there beneath the new moon, or like looking what's happening or communicating or something. This angel man is standing there with jeans and everything, having one black wing and one white wing. So it's about in what direction will you go, sort of thing. And 6 and 4 becomes 10, so it's like a new start also in this choice. But yeah, and I do feel in this instance this card means that there is no bad choice. It's just different choices. It will lead to different things, obviously. But so then we have the number 37, which are cycles. how the world and everything moves in cycles. And sometimes we come back to certain things a few times because of these things, and it also have to take a certain time to get to some things. And then we have number 12, which is conclusion, and that is a book sort of where it says chapter 1 and then it's the end. There are one book you can see, like in this image, you can Google how you want if you want to look at them. There are beautiful images in this also. And then another book beside it where it says the end, and it's reversed. So this is the end. No, this is not the end. And also this weekend, I actually started reading. No, not reading. I started writing a book. I've said that forever and a day, and started, but it have been too heavy, so I haven't been able to continue. But now I try to write in a way where I focus on more easy uplifting things in between when I write. I mean the things that I write. So I think I find a rhythm how to do it and to give myself the peace that I need in between, because some of the things are a little bit heavy. And then what it becomes of it, maybe it's more like a therapy book for now. So that's maybe why this card in my case, and maybe something else in your case. That's why it's not finished. It's just started, and I can start a new chapter. And usually upright, this card means that you should like end this chapter sort of. But I think this is encouraging someone to continue to dive into it deeper and so on. But I will read about what it says here in the book as well, because that is kind of interesting, and also maybe it clarifies it for you in particular. And there are no reversals in this deck actually, but I use the reversals in every deck, I guess. But you can use them. You can use every deck without reversals, and I encourage you to do so from the beginning if you are new. But anyway, choices. The first card. Every choice you make has a consequence. Even the thoughts are like magnets, drawing experiences to you for the good or for the bad. Do you know the story of a winged immortal in the House of Night who had to choose between the dark and the light? Do you know what he chose? Right now, you are faced with such a choice. All you need to do is to ask, is this for the highest good? The choice you make will be an important step in your life lessons. Remember, even not deciding is a choice. What will it be? Choose another card to show what your choice will bring you. And then you got obviously two cards here. So maybe it talks about, for you, maybe this is one choice will bring you this first card, and one choice will bring you this other card. The never ending story, it could be the last one also, that never, when you go into these victim stories that keep going forever and a day, and you keep attracting same situations over and over, and you wonder why. I can relate. But anyway, so for the first card then afterwards here is which would then maybe represent the actual positive, the white wing there at least. It doesn't have to be good because it's white. It could be black that is the good, sometimes. Anyway, what goes around comes around is the message of the symbol cycles. The moon goes from new to full in cycles that repeat each month. Whatever you are planning to do or to reveal by asking your questions will be revisited in other circumstances. Be clear about your action. You will surely meet this experience again. Remember, what goes around comes around. Like the moon that revolves around the planet, the energy that you express in your next action will orbit around you. Make sure it's a good one. So this is maybe even the same message as the first card. Yeah, it's very clear to not invite what you don't want, kind of thing. And the other, I won't read this last one because it was reversed though, but it was about conclusion, and to end things maybe. And I think in this case maybe it's about just to end the negative stories. Maybe so for example in my case, maybe write it out, leave it there, let it be, move on, don't bring it in again, you know and see to it that is a positive story to it, whether there are ups and downs, or maybe just be clear not to make other people um you know uh villains, even if they may be. But to not expose others, to like shield things down, and see to it that it's a good thing for whomever involved, is the choice here. Even if this owl here sees a lot, see many things, maybe there isn't good to expose all that all the time, at least. Well, I hope you got something out of this. Usually I think this is a very, very clear deck, although it's an oracle deck, and usually I'm not in favor of oracle decks. They can be more clear sometimes than tarot, but generally generally tarot is my favorite. But when it comes to certain things, it doesn't matter. Everything will be clear enough when you really want an answer. So you don't even need some decks. You can just do whatever, look in a book or the clouds, or listen to the radio, or the whatever. The message will be clear when you really truly ask sincerely. So anyways, but if you don't want the answer, that would be very blurry then, and you would be like, wow, how can this be? It's like I had a deck not a deck a deck long ago. I don't have them anymore. When I was about, I don't know what age I was, like somewhere in my 20s, anyways, the later part, I threw away all my decks. I had a lot of decks then, and two of those decks were Osho decks, and one was not the Zen, the common one that many people use, but it was a story deck with various stories from spiritual traditions, and one of the stories I recall was this. It was very exact, actually. I love that, but I felt like I was done with the energies in all my decks, so I just got rid of all of them. Not that I threw them away, but anyway. So and a couple of them I bought again, like Toss Tarot and Symbolon, actually, just recently. And so, but anyway, and also Rider White, actually, I wanted to have again. Anyway, so there was this story about someone seeking everywhere, blah blah blah, and there was this stairway up to a door where it says like God on the door, and it's almost like the answer. And many people do like that. We would just, oh, what to do? Where is the answer? La la la, and it's just in front of it. We know where even the door is to find the answer, but we just don't. We don't, just want to go. We want to be seekers. Go around there as blind as we are, like. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Anyways, so why this deck reconnects me with my physical body? I think it's yeah, I think it have manifested so many things, certain things in those images have like shown themselves very much so in the physical as well, in my life, very clearly. And so it grounds me. It gives me a feeling of home. But I should actually read the books, the fantasy books, because I probably would love them. I'm not much for novels and stuff. I read mainly like learning things. That's what I like to read. So those are like not cards. They are books. Like you don't read them from one end to the neck, from the first page to the end page, and that is maybe the message here also. But you rather go into certain things that you are interested right then and there, and learn about them, and then you pick it up again. So I have a lot of those kinds of books when it comes to Ayurveda, when it comes to whatever the spiritual things that I do and stuff. But anyways, and these are also books, but they are constantly alive and change. You know, it's not like set chapters. You can they they show their the story becomes different every time you use it. So these books are my favorite books when it comes to books, the cards themselves. Yeah, maybe I should write a book like that, actually. I mean, really as a book, not as a divinatory tool. But then every person who finds who buy the book or read the book will get it in different like order or like, but it will have still some sort of conclusion there. I don't know. Now I drift into creativity, but it should be possible. I mean, and fun, because then also if you read a book again, it's a different book, as these are the cards. I hope this makes sense. Okay, I move on. And the fourth is a deck that allow me to harness the power and protection of the four elements. And I chose the Wizard Tarot. That is one deck that I've had for quite some time. And it's easily you can understand it quite easy, but still it's also at the same time rather deep. Barbara Moore, I have a few. I don't know even if this is her. Actually, maybe this is someone else. But I have a few of her where she actually gives new input. Like, for example, if you see these two cards together, they will imply this or stuff like that in her descriptions, which is I think very fun. Yeah, but these cards are. It's like the deck is formed in the way that it's like a school where you teach even the major arcana as is like different classes, let's say, and the minors as well is like different things you learn. It's it's an odd deck in that way, but also it's sweet and yeah, I feel a strong connection to this one, actually. But because of the clarity of the different elementals, do you say, what do you call them actually? Well, the different, like in swords, wands, cups, and pentacles, related to their elements. That's quite clear. All the, let's say, all the I don't know what all the pentacles have like green clothes, and all the swords have yellow clothes, and they are very clear in what the element is, so to speak. I mean, not all of them do have that, but I try to look at all of them right now. But yeah, I mean, they are very clear in that sense. And also, and to me also, I think that I like the backside of these also. It's hard to describe it, but it's like bluish and with some gold things swirling around. But the elements of these also, it's very much in the water when it comes to the cups, cards, and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I think that's why I connected very much to the element. But also, to me, many decks are related to a certain era. Maybe I was then in connection with a certain person or personality that kind of becomes integrated in the cards. Let's say the things you yourself learn meanwhile you use the deck is reminds you of whatever meaning you project also into the meanings of that particular deck, I believe, or I feel. So I will pull a card from these then. It was long ago since I used them, although they are one of my absolute favorites. And I think the ones that I've mentioned before, they are not really brilliant for newcomers, although I love them. I mean, the Oracle deck anyone can use, but when it comes to the tarot, I don't think those two I wouldn't suggest that, maybe for someone really new. But I think this one is not very hard to understand even as a newcomer. They are quite traditional, honestly. So, but let's see a card here or a few cards. Yeah, let's see. King of Wands of fire. Then it's clear. It's fire. He holds a wand with fire, and it's in front of a fire, and although it's a disc of gold behind him, sort of, it's like yeah, super clear. And then we have Two of Cups reversed. These are like children seeing eye to eye, this soulmate thing. But it's reversed. So this is like people who cannot actually meet. And then we have Eight of Swords reversed and Judgment upright. So the message here, to whom it may suit no, suits, they're called different suits. Did I say that before? I don't know. Anyway, so this king is it seems when you look at the personalities in this deck also, you can kind of see their attitude quite easily as well. This seems like a very selfish maybe person that is like hold himself in like the gifts from the gods, or I mean in a high regard anyways, like serve me or worship me or please me or something. And I think there is a disconnect here with this whole emotional aspect of getting in touch with others. This could also be someone who, sorry to say, but a man who uses women for the passion of things. Maybe it could also be, it doesn't have to be feminine or masculine when it comes to the court cards or the persons indicated in the cards, whatever gender they are. But sometimes that still shows something, that is a sort of an energy this person have. Because this person don't want to be trapped, they want to be free. But still this decision comes here. There is a need to make a decision. And in this card in this judgment card, there are several students, let's say 2 females and 2 males, and then there is this female teacher here holding a book with like Pluto sign on. Yeah, you can also see those signs in this deck, by the way, these planetary connections or astrological connections quite easily, although I seldom add that into my interpretations of the cards, but it's there still, you can use that if you wish. So they're quite deep in the sense, they're much in them, and that is quite easy and clear to find, but still, so it's not an easy deck in that sense. It's not like simplified so that it doesn't make sense for someone who have worked for a long time with cards or tarot. It could be really an addition, I think, for even those. But anyway, so the message here to whomever may have the energy to listen is I think this is about a breakup of sorts. Honestly, a choice, maybe. This is 2 things, I think. Either it's a breakup, and I do think that this is 2 things. I think it's about a breakup, and it's about choosing someone else also. Not like being free and having, because the judgment card is very much about also choice here. And that this person, whomever this is about, this King of Wands person, this is an ending also. The king, I mean, it's the last card of this page, Knight, Queen, King. So it could be an ending card in that sense, but also, yeah, I think that it shows that there needs to be a choice. This person can't keep all the options open. and they know that, but still they have someone, I think, that they know are not their soulmate, and they feel a little bit trapped, or they don't want to be, at least, so they are like half measured very much in this, and they need to let go of that and choose what they truly want. So I will see what's underneath here. That's the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I think this is a hesitant one, and someone who take it slowly and look over their shoulder, like um they are well paired and like sturdy almost. This is like a competent person who wants to go on a new path that is more solid also than this King of Wands have been all fiery around the town, let's say. But this Page of Pentacles, this is someone who wants to start in a new way with a new behavior and also build something solid and stable. So that is what I see, and they know that this is kind of a path to walk. I mean, they are not there. They need to show themselves ready for this. They know it's not an easy path for them. No, they need to be prepared and really hold on to that. But they are also, this person is also very, in a way, very very patient and very stubborn, more so. So when they make a choice truly and they feel that this is, they won't leave that path. They will let's say reach that mountain top, no whatever weather. Like they if they decide to accomplish something, they will not back down. They will keep making it happen. So, but for now, this person have been, as I interpret this card, this could also be other interpretations, like this Page of Pentacles can be child here, influence things and stuff. But I do think this is someone who wants something else, and they look back a bit, but they need to let go of that and make a decision to end what is not what they want, to choose what they want. Anyways, that's the deck for, I make this a long one, but I always do. So yeah, this is a deck that allow me to harness the power and protection of the four elements. Yeah, very much so. It shows very much also in the major arcanas examples of, so you can dive deeper into learning a lot of things in various ways. It's very sweet like that. It's different also like that. I love it very much. So it's a brighter kind of, it's not those black or or black and red stuff that I'm also drawn to sometimes, apparently. But I have very bright cards. I have a lot of variations of decks. And I also use various decks when it comes to various persons. For example, I will meet a friend some day here to come, and we used to also use cards sometimes with each other. And with her, the brightest decks that I have make sense. But many people I know, it's like where we are in the vibe. She has such a high vibe. So she understand, yeah, how can you say, higher concepts maybe. So they are they're easy to interpret with her, but with many people they would go over their heads fully. So I can't use them with everyone. So, but anyway, so the fifth one, a deck that helps me to breathe deeply and fully, and there I chose the Aura Soma that I've had since I went to the teachings of Ayurveda. That I'm an Ayurveda therapist, and I learned that. My teacher Lola, she used this somewhat in the education as well. She had those sprays as well in the room. Sometimes it was awesome. And so it could like change the energy field in the room as well. By Pamela Matthews, and this is the one from 2005. So this is one of the, I don't think this is available now. It's very beautiful, and it have those Orasama bottles that with colors. It's very colorful. One of the things is that it works with color magic, you could call it. And the bottles have various, some bottles have on the backside there are various colors with various different, did I say that, different colors. And it's not only different colors, it's some of the bottles are just one color, but many of them have like one color at the top and one at the bottom, and they have different fragrances as well, and you can buy these bottles as well. And if you shake them, they mix, and then they get a special fragrance from that. So it's very much into, this deck is very special. And the other special thing is the major cards. So some of the major cards, I'm not sure if every of the majors actually, probably actually, I've never thought about that fact, but yeah, there are some angel cards at the end, by the way. Every year they add an angel card. And this deck have just let's see how many angel cards, because they make this, if they still do them, I think they add one every year. Then when it comes to those angels, ascended archangels, it says here, and here there are five of them, and six of them from the number 100 then to 105. Metatron, Euphiel, Samael, Archangel Haniel, Shamael, and Archangel Azrael is the last one in this deck. But it's the new Orasoma, new Aeon Tarot. So Orasoma. And every major arcana in this deck all the images on the front. They are very traditional in their imagery. All the major arcanas have one card that is the outward, and one that is the, what are they called? The return card. And the return card is when you have integrated that lesson of that major arcana. So they are very special, and wow, I can't even describe how special they are. And also you can see that if you compare, let's say, the moon cards or the hermit card or the high priestess, whatever, emperor card, whatever card you use, strength is very it's marvelous in this deck as well. But if you compare the outward and the return card, you will see in the images and colors and everything how it have you understand a message in that transition from not having integrated that message or lesson, and to when you have integrated it. Some people want to like I've got the someone asked me to only use the return cards. They didn't really want to learn anymore. They just wanted the confirmation that they had all the things integrated. Kind of, that's odd way to ask the cards for something. Just don't use the ones that where I can learn something. Take the other ones only. Like it's I don't know what to say about that, but I didn't. I refused. Let's see now. So now we will take some cards from this then. Very, very colorful, very, very clear images, bright, nothing murky. Yeah, everything is bright and clear in this, and not even sometimes clear colors can be not so clear in the. It can be rather like almost what is it called, like watercolor or something like that. But this is like super clear in its images as well. Let's see now. So we got this marvelous card. Here in this deck, it's deck. Not I say that all the time. Sorry. Is that like a Freudian slip? Wow. It's number 71 here. It's Eight of Pentacles. And this card is, there are seven, this is 8 lotus flowers, by the way. And all of them have a pentacle in them. And 7 of them are just in buds. And one is opening their petals, and this pentagram is inside. So it shows this development. I think they're very good at showing the meaning of the cards themselves, and they're different, each of the minors as well then. But underneath we have the Fool outward and also reversed. I think this is related to indecisiveness. I will see what's under there. Also, number 33 for Wands. This is about where to actually live, where to go, stuff like that. And about indecision. There are so many possibilities in life and what to choose. And that may also come across in this upper card, because there are many buds here that haven't been open. Like, what's there? Maybe that is some choice that would be also fantastic. Hello. Like, usually that this card is about development and gradually refine things, and maybe also gain finances or money or something from a project, whatever. But here is also, and there are many things that could render richness back in all areas, because pentacles have all the elements and spirit in it. So but it's also very grounded, the earth element. And the name no, not the name, the number 8 obviously is this never-ending cycle of things as well. So it's very possible God, I speak. A very positive card. It's like a pink lotuses, very bright pink and green. It's so loving. It's so heart chakra colors in this card. But this Fool have a lot to discover yet, and maybe also the reversal of this. It's cool that it's also number 33 for the Four of Wands. This is usually a very joyful celebration of things, but this Fool here can't make a choice, apparently. And number 0 is also a never-ending cycle. But I also think that the Fool card in itself usually shows someone that is heading. They're warned, but they are just walking ahead out towards some cliff, and without seeing that they are too naive in their ways. Maybe just in the standstill. Also, they're halfway taking a step. They are on their way, but never take the step. Yeah. So it's a little bit darker, but also bright yellow and blue colors. And yeah, all of these cards are very, very beautiful. And there is a white dove and a white dog and a yellow butterfly. But these are the most colorful deck that I have, because it's also focuses very much on that as a tool. All decks and all cards have messages in their coloring, of course. That's the special frequency. So, but this is all kinds of it. Yeah, it includes every possible color, and also in a very, very bright way. Even darker ones. I'm not sure there are much black there, but anyway, so that's the one deck that helps me to breathe deeply and fully. Yeah, because of this whole connectedness to sense and aura, the aura field, the energy field, how you can shift that with just meditating on the colors or anything. So, and it also shows what kind of, if you pull a card and it shows, if you ask for an advice and you get this particular card, as I said, every card have a bottle on the back side. You can order that I buy that bottle with a fragrance you can spray in the aura, and so it's like, and they are very ethereal. I can't even describe the scents. I've had several of those, and I love them. And they also never, they are not very cheap, but they are also not extremely expensive. Well, if you should buy all of them, actually, I should do that. By the way, I wanted that for many years, but I never did that. Maybe I should do that. But anyways, they are what's the word for that? They are as I said, they are different also, and also when you shake them, they mix and become even different than the ones that are just one colored, and so on. It was something that I was going to say there. Yeah, that if you buy one, it lasts like forever. They are never. I've never. Even there are smaller ones, tiny, that are called. I don't know what they are called. You put them in the center of the hand, and yeah. Anyway, but never mind. They last forever, almost. I have not used up one of them still, and it was many years since I purchased my first one. So fantastic in any way, I feel. And then number 6, a deck that regulates by connecting me with nature and helping me to ground energy, to ground my energy. Oh, I never talked so all over the place, but this is one of the decks that I feel as an answer to that question. It's a star tarot, and that is like odd, as well as the first one is odd, kind of maybe for the whole nervous system thing and stuff. But to me, this star tarot, it's like an artist David Bowie loved, David De Angelis, and hey baby, my cat, and there are so many. This is like, these cards are, I don't know what she's doing. She's looking for some other food than I have given her. She doesn't want that one. No, she will eat it anyway. Okay, my cat. But yeah, also the book that comes with it, and the way describing the cards and so, but mainly the artwork in them. First, they were like almost hurting my eyes. There are so many little details and so much information, so many not messed up but mixed things. You see, you can scry in these cards forever and see new things. Like, there is so much in them, in each of every card. And now we got a card here. I'll shuffle them. Ace of Wands reversed, Five of Cups upright, and the Wheel upright. So I will look at the no, not the end card, the underneath also. Oh, Eight of Swords again now underneath here. It's someone who feel like, or want to be liberated, or are beginning to liberate themselves from a trapped situation or something, daring to do so because they have realized that fear is holding them back. And the Ace of Wands is someone not something that is usually that is she's listening to so much that someone maybe standing outside the door. She's like the most watchful cat, this one. She's better than a watchdog. If someone would be like outside the wall, outside the house, she would like look through the wall to the, she'd have done that wherever I've lived now. She's kind of old. She's like 17. And stare exactly towards a point. And if I look out, then there have always been someone standing there. Like, she's super bright at that, in that way. Anyway, we have Ace of Wands, as I said, Five of Cups, and the Wheel. So this is someone, I think this also is about relationship related, because of the Ace of Wands is like a phallus symbol, and this is not active, so to speak. This is not happening. they're not getting lucky here, or maybe they don't even want to, or what it is. It could be also new project that's such that don't come to fruition, or it won't like happen, although it's supposed to happen, stuff like that. Five of Cups is very much not look at what we have lost or what we don't. It can be even problems in that field, like impotency is that word, or like stuff. But Five of Cups is to look at the things that we actually have and the things that work out, whatever that is, probably emotional here. Anyways, and then the wheel is like, I think this actually have to do with that. I've never seen cards like that. It's like it's about very much to take the opportunity when it comes, and look for that and create that opportunity sometimes as well, and know that things come and go, and that is fine. That is like a cycles card beforehand. And I get the trapped card here also, that how that feels bad for whomever this is, like not working well. But I will read from the book so we understand how the cards can be. They don't both describe the cards themselves better than I can, and as well how they look like. And you can Google how they look like, obviously, but also how the descriptions are of the card themselves. I will actually read the Ace of Wands as well, because they have reversals in the text here also. So Ace of Wands. Hey, baby. She was really hungry. Hangry. No. Ace of Wands. Reversed. I should always have brighter when I try to do this, because I can hardly read it. Says, I think there is a reverse. Yeah. Dealing with blocks. Signs point to no. Taking on too much. Insufficient knowledge to achieve what you want. But I think this that something isn't happen is also, it's connected to the emotional side of things. And then we have Five of Cups, but that is upright, so there is more to read here. And another thing with this deck that is very beautiful is that each of the cards have a thing on. You could actually just write down the first words for each of the cards and use that as a deck themselves, or like a message cards or something, because on each of the cards it says something in the line of I am, and such. Yeah, or I have, or I will, or I fully la la la. It's stuff like that. I passionately blah, like an expression from this card, from this person, let's say, of the cards, the I. And at Five of Cups it says, I'm inconsolable. Like, wow. And this is a very good expression for that card. Yeah, and that's why there is a need to turn around and look at what's there truly. And so I will try to read, although it's super dark here. The Swiss-American psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was a pioneer in research on near-death experiences and the process of grief, although there is no death grief here. There's other griefs in this interpretation of all these cards together. But anyway, she postulated that the five stages of grief: denial, this can't be happening; anger, why me? It's not fair; bargaining, if only I would; depression, why go on? And acceptance, it's going to be okay. Towards the end of her own life, she said the stages were not always a linear, predictable progression. This opened the door for us to understand grief as a process which unfolds across time. Ultimately, the process travels across different emotional topographies that must make the full journey in order to reach the land of acceptance and integration. In the Five of Cups, a distraught yet almost indistinguishable figure crouches by the river, watching as a hand desperately reaches out from the rushing torrent as it's swept away. 5 cups, five stages must be consumed in order to move on. Three cups hold red inflammation. One stands empty with feelings of emptiness and meaningless, and the last cup holds hope, a return to the heart. For this card to have impact, one does not have to be dealing with something catastrophic. It points to the fact that we all carry tremendous grief, ancestral grief, family grief, cultural grief, grief for our loss of innocence. We all live out the 5 stages of grief in numerous ways. A dream job we have wanted we have worked so hard for fails through, a relationship breaks up, children leave home, or maybe they stay. No, I'm just kidding. No one passes through the life untouched by grief and loss. Grief is part of the natural cycle of life. We can stop fighting against it and allow ourselves to feel what needs to be felt. Tarot offers us an opportunity to see ourselves through the different eyes, to see what needs to be questioned, healed, and released. It offers us new vistas to move toward and explore. As with the 4 of Cups, we have the capacity to create a new context and viewpoint through which we can explore our our pains and discomforts. We can transform them into something wondrous. Byron Katie's system, the work, offers a way of questioning and releasing the painful stories we inhabit, stepping into the open freedom that is our true, radiant, untarnished self. The 5 of Cups took me to my own deep grief, the loss of loved ones, the failures, the hard times I had put my family through with my relentless pursuit of creative dreams. The fast flowing river in the card has more than one meaning or possibility. I mean, of course, we can be swept away by the rivers of tears, but we can also be cleansed by it too. We can put right what we can and let go of our grief. Let it be taken back into the great ocean of life. For me, this card does not point to the arrival of some form of grief, for it okay. For it has already arrived and we carry it in ourselves. Instead, it presents a question and a powerful possibility. It asks you to look at the grief you hold on to. It invites you to complete with it and let it go, letting life, nature, take care of transmuting it back into vitas or energy. And it also said, the short form, it says like, hope is not gone. Allow yourself to grieve what is spilled. Give into the grief and work through it. Like, usually that is a little bit an opposite interpretation than the common ones, but valid. I mean, before we can see it, we cannot leave it also. But it's mainly card to stop wallow in what it's not achieved or what it is, and look to what's still there, as I said from the beginning. And then we have the wheel then, which is a major, and therefore I also will read that because it's like a little bit different text, I guess, in the majors, but it's long text in both of them, obviously. And here it says, at the top then. I understand there is a time and season for everything. As I said, there is one sentence at every card that starts with like I, as the card would say it. I understand there is a time and season for everything. The only truth is change. Like seasons, our lives is constantly in evolution. Oh, I stuttered, but almost because of the darkness here, I can see. The wheel of life shows us that every living thing is in full cycle from birth to death, followed by rebirth. The law of conservation of energy states that the energy of a closed system must remain constant. Our universe, I don't know what I read there actually, but I will just continue. Our universe is this closed system as the energy in existence has always been the same. Nothing is ever gained or lost. That's important because of the previous cards as well. The form our energy takes, however, is constantly changing. The artwork depicts a vast wheel surrounded by ghostly figures. It symbolizes the personality journeying through time with all its different facets. The dramas of who we pretend to be, the different parts of ourselves which struggle for dominion in a world that operates on the principle of scarcity, the belief that it is that it the belief there is not enough produces such struggle, such suffering. The ghosts of the past and the ghosts of the future dance to the great wheel of time, searching out who we were, what we said, what might have been, seeing where to go, what might occur. The mind, ever restless, analyzing, commenting, distancing itself from the heart. We are always projecting ourselves onto life out there. However, viewed through the lens of the center, the all seeing eye reminds us that there is a constant, unchanging center to all changing phenomena. It's true, our lives are in a constant process of change and evolution. Every project, person, business, government, and country is birthed, matures, and dies. Much as we try to control our lives, nothing stays the same, and death and decay must come to us all. All the movement, the striving and relinquishing causes such pain and discomfort because it takes us out of the present moment when everything is just as it is, spacious, yielding, if only we could let it be so. This is the center of the wheel of life. When we open ourselves to the aliveness of the present moment, all is unfolding perfectly in the mystery of life. We expand and receive the wholeness of the moment, poised, alert, utterly alive. We wholeheartedly accept what is, love what is, without judgment, meeting the isness of the moment. In such moments, we have no wish for it to be different or better or more. We have no disappointment, no sense that it is not that is it no sense that it is not what we worked for. Nothing to be, nothing to do, nowhere to go. This moment is complete unto itself, untainted, unmeasured. We shift perspectives from playing a character or role in the life to the space in which life occurs. The wheel of life reminds us that what appears positive and uplifting contains the seed of its opposite. So, whenever something major changes in our circumstance, to not be overly attached to the outcome. You've met the man of your dreams. How wonderful. Maybe yes, maybe no. You've moved to your dream house in the country. Lucky you. Maybe yes, maybe no. There is opportunity in everything, brilliance in everything, the cup overflowing with life in everything. So the short form here is karmic, forces at work, balance the light with the dark, understanding nature's cycles, watching time pass, open yourself to the unfolding of life around you, and also the possibilities that are in the moment. Yeah, staying centered or even above the wheel, the still set center at the in the chaos of the world, let's say. Anyways, I couldn't really describe. It's very, very bright orange, whatever colors. It's almost so bright colors in this that it hurts your eyes. And the back is like black with uh, some pattern in also pink. But yeah, it's hard to describe them exactly. Some are more like photograph images, and the people in them are pretty much like that. But it's still very artistic, and as I said, this is brilliant artist that David Bowie loved, so who made the artwork. Or yeah, so anyway, I will just continue. I will put this aside. Whoop, I need to, but this was the deck that regulates by connecting me with nature and helping me to ground my energy. And why I chose this deck for that, because it's also so much in it. It's like woo, all over the place. It makes you almost whew, how can I explain? It's too many impressions almost. And I got this from a friend, Berit, who actually bought this for herself, but she didn't connect with it, or felt like it was maybe too much for her or something. But for me, it's like wow, I wouldn't probably have bought it myself. I've seen it previously, but I probably wouldn't have. But I totally love it, and you can actually dive into each of the cards so much, and the more you sit and almost scry in the cards, or not meditate, but you sit and just contemplate the cards, you see new messages come up in the cards themselves. They are very, let's say, talkative, for lack of other words, different words. So, and the reason I chose this one for regulating by connecting with me with nature and helping me to ground my energy. There could be many decks for that, honestly, but mainly just going out in nature, something like that. But because I have to focus so much, because there are so many things, so you get like almost like they are made of laser sharpness, let's say. And so it grounds me that I have to keep, I mean, they are not so boring, so your brain gets distracted. You almost like dive into them and get hypnotized, or like absorbed, yeah, by them almost. And so, and that grounds me, that focuses me so much, so that that I'm not spread out, like let's say my energy is not like so thin and all over the place. So that's why I chose it. And number 7, a deck that refocuses me on my own present moment, reality, and my personal truth. This could be, I think maybe I should change this. Let's see. A deck that refocuses me on my, yeah, I have to have this one here. A deck that refocuses me on my own present moment, reality, and my personal truth. I think I chose, it's, as I said, it's difficult or impossible to choose here. But I chose the Cozy Witch Tarot because it's very soft, and it's like mugs from, if you buy this iced coffee or coffee on a coffee shop, like on the back, it's like it's very regular, like day to day kind of images. It's soft also. It's very, very soft to feel. I love the feel of this also. not as soft as the Stranger Things. It's soft in all kinds of ways, but this is dry, a little dry, but it's also very, very sweet, and those brown colors. It's like a cup of cappuccino. Well, let's see what we get from this. But yeah, I think it's the whole day to day of the deck. It's like not drifting off from ordinary everyday life in the cards. Let's see, now we probably get some card that is way out there, but no, they aren't really. But also very clear and very, I think this would be quite easy for someone new to work with. Very sweet, a little bit witchy though, but in a super, super kind, sweet way. So the cards that I got now is the Temperance. Let go of self-imposed limitations, it says here. And she's sitting, you can Google them, of course, also if you want, number 14. She is sitting there, sweet witchy shoes, let's say, but with her, she'll have a cup of something, open the window, just sitting there drinking her coffee or what you have on the, or tea or something in her cup, and just having some a loose shirt and a hat and a um, like flowing skirt. There are some plants beside her. It's like very, very sweet. It's like a very relaxing card. And I haven't gotten this exact card before any time. So, but very beautiful. I really, really love these cards. And for someone that feels like, "Ooh, this is so scary with the tarot undo," I mean, a deck like this is very, very soft, very, very sweet. Also, the interpretations and so. And at the back of it's the High Priestess reversed, and there is also little text underneath every. I don't like that generally, but it could be maybe fun for someone to start with decks. But when in doubt, your first gut feeling is always to be trusted. But this was reversed, so maybe not. And it says divination, which is this one is sitting. They are like teenagers many times in the images, but it seems like. But this one is sitting on her bed with a white cat there, and she's throwing some cards. The High Priestess here, and having something on the wall that represents painted. Also, I should say, not like this is not. This is drawn cards, like not like photographic images, but uh yeah, she have something on the some, it looks like some, what can I say, soft fabric thing with moon faces on the wall behind a bed, and some crystals there in the bed, and something the cat maybe play with also. I don't know. She have no socks on her. She's sitting there with this t-shirt where it says divination witch, like a loose, and some hairband in her on her head, like just sitting there. They are quite curvy, by the way, in this deck, these women. I think that is sweet. Also, and then underneath that, it's a Three of Pentacles reversed. What's the saying? Teamwork makes the spell work. I don't know, but anyways, then they sit. It's more dark out, but it's still this soft energy. And there are three women sitting, different styles. One have more black stylish, and one is like more, I mean, white dress and romantic. What do you say? Not bearded, braided hair, and another one with more so loose dress, like, or I mean, they are sitting like in the secluded place, like there is trees and a little bit wood like, and some stars, but yeah, it's so sweet. Just I don't know how to say, but this is also a message to the messages of these cards. I think, yeah, the balance is very important, to not be too eager to go all into everything. I guess, yeah, I have to listen to that. But also, I think it's a message for someone who doesn't take that time and don't listen inwards and also someone who wants to share these experiences with others, and need to seek that up, maybe to find someone who understand that, and that they can work together with, and develop these things and new discoveries and so on in various ways. Some people, like next card underneath is Two of Cups. Some people are like pumpkin to your spice. Yeah. And that is a personality question when it comes to covens and such. You don't have to be close in the personal sense, but some just want to learn the craft and then move on, let's say, and on their own way or coven and so, but also you really need to have some connection that matches personality wise, I feel. And yeah, to me it would be very, very important though. But the first card, let go of self-imposed limitations. I will read that this is obviously the card temperance in traditional tarot, sometimes called måttfullhet in Swedish, which is not the same thing. Måttfullhet means like that you don't overdo something, let's say. While temperance is like a moving scale. It's like balancing things, I feel. Anyway, let's see what it says here. It says it's just this everyday thing, and most of the cards are like daylights. It's like very, yeah, very much not scary. I say. Let go. Yeah, as I said, this witch adores a good cup of coffee, but the caffeine was keeping her up at night, which impacted her overall happiness. Instead of actually cutting it out, this sounds like me, she decided to drink a little less coffee and a little more water. Nowadays, she sleeps much more peacefully and still gets to make plenty of coffee magic. In her story is a message about the importance of balance over complete and total restriction. By adapting a practice of saying yes to yourself every so often without giving in to feelings of shame or guilt, you help build a sense of contentment and inner harmony in your life. If there's something you crave and indulging in it would cause any harm, then say yes to yourself today rather than to that thing then. That thing. Girl, you better watch out. Lauren Hill. Anyway, yeah, that's the one. This is so everyday one. This is so brings you back to here and now and what life offers in the regular everyday life kind of thing. And that's why it feels like a good deck for this. That refocuses me on my own present moment, reality, and my personal, what does it say? Yeah, personal truth also, because they are good messages in them, but they are in the brighter side and lighter side of the interpretations also than I'm used to generally, but I love it. And sometimes you need that coziness. They are really, it's a good name for it also. The Cozy Witch Tarot. They are very cozy. So they are lovely. But it also includes the Wiccan teaching. I mean, Wiccan worldview, I guess you could say. And so for someone who really aren't drawn to that at all, and so I guess there are better decks that are more overall and maybe have more angels, whatever. It's not that you can't have angels then, but yeah, you know what I mean, maybe. Anyway, moving on. Number 8, a deck that reflects my innate spiritual power and wisdom. I didn't know here, obviously, for many of them, but I took the Frequency Tarot card by Teal Swan. Uh, hesitantly. I wanted them to be in here somehow. And I do love them. But they are not the easiest deck to work with. I wouldn't recommend them for anyone newcomer. And also, they are very mental, as she is very mental. She works very much in the field of, I mean, not only, but she stays in that, the mental, emotional. If you talk about medicine wheel, that would be like one of those for the physical also. I mean, she is in the soul part and the spirits also, but mainly her focus goes very much because she's very sharp mentally, intellectually, like that. So she stays very much in that field, and it shows in the, as I interpret that, anyways. She's very enlightened in many ways, I will say, but still, yeah, maybe, I mean, she's brilliant where she is at, and so, but yeah, and on the back of these, they are black, and then there is this alchemy symbol of the circle and the triangle and the square and the triangle inside of them. So, and these are reversal. I mean, you can use the back both ways without seeing if it's upside or down. Should have said any of that. Anything. Whoa! You know what dropped out now, which is odd. One card from the wizard there. So maybe, oh, I dropped it on the floor. Maybe this one to say something. Maybe this wanted to actually be part of this whole, the deck that reflects my inner spiritual power and wisdom. Yeah, I think it actually does. But here is Five of Pentacles. It's interesting card that dropped out now from the wizard, or because they are very traditional in their images. These are two people going outside of a church with freezing and cloaked with something, and they are not really in touch with each other. They are not really handicapped and so, as they used to be interpreted here, but they are like outside, and people are in the warmth there in the church and everything. And yeah, I can really relate to having a spirituality and wisdom also that not all are able to understand. Although I can embrace what's in the warmth that is in there, what I have is also out there. Where other way that I described that, but it was interesting. So maybe that is also one deck that still belongs to this, reflects my innate spiritual power and wisdom. I think so, because that's a teacher deck also, you could say, and as I also do teach tarot and magic and stuff. So let's see. And now we have the, yeah. I will pull a card now from the teal tarot. I should have said the backs if you could see it, but you can Google them also, the backs of the cards. But some of the cards, if you would see on the back if they are upside down or not, but not on these. Let's see now. There are two of these symbols in the back, the alchemy symbol that she have tattooed on her arm. And if you are a witchy person, you know also that Tiptoe Chic had also tattooed. I would love that tattoo also myself. Anyway, okay, so you will get it. That's the booklet that comes with this. These cards are the only one. This was actually purchased by my dad because I don't buy things online, and it wasn't. You had to buy it from abroad when I bought this deck, and so, anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah, there is a little booklet that comes with this, but it's so tiny text. You really need like a magnifying glass to almost read that. That is bugging me. Although as I said, I always almost have it dark, and also, yeah, I don't have the best eyesight. Now comes the card. security number 54. They also called frequency cards. So the images, you should actually feel the images when you use her decks. Also, I have another deck of her. It's the, what is that called now? It's called, I don't even remember right now, but where she have this uh, even though that is called, I don't remember right now. Never mind, I have another deck of her. But underneath is heritage number 21. Wow, beautiful. So how I would interpret this, first of all, both of these are upright, and I get a little bit dizzy by the cards, these cards now, and that is like strong impact in the system. Let's say there are very few decks that influences me like that. The Crowley deck did when I was younger. I mean the Thoth deck, that is. But now I also have the Tatwa and the God, you see, I'm getting all lost. My it's called the what? Oh gosh, I'm so, these cards just made me dizzy now. It's the energy of the card, so I will get back to that. But anyways, um, the Enochian Scrying Tarot, that is called. Yeah, right. Those also get me like all this from the beginning, especially when I work with them. And I haven't worked with this deck so much. Maybe that's why. But maybe it's the images that also just affect me. Anyways, so I understand this for myself very much. The security and the heritage. Underneath is this heritage, where I come from and what that have influence and whatnot. And she, by the way, talks a whole lot about that and how we are affected, like in our DNA expression, by the experiences our ancestors had. If they got scared of whatever or something like that, then it will be our DNA will remember that, let's say, and so on and so forth. But anyway, so how this security is connected to that, that's brilliant. And also beautiful colors when she have painted these frequency paintings that she does. And she have like clothes in that and everything, but I guess you could buy them, maybe also the paintings themselves. But yeah, but I will also read here now if I can, because as I said, the the minorist, I should have like a magnifying glass to be able to read these. Let's see now. And it's the tarot, and that is what I try to then talk about with AI today. I have wow, I wondered myself. I will have to have more light here. That's why I do these sounds. I wonder myself, there are 77 cards, and in traditional tarot, there are 78. And I believe that the Fool is not in here. It's called tarot, not oracle. So there is like connections to the tarot cards, I guess, and to the suits and everything. So I've tried to figure out which one is with which, but I haven't so far even been diving into it too far. But then I asked AI, because AI can be confusing and sloppy, but also very, very smart in seeing patterns. And if you just give them the right prompt and clearly and so on. And so, anyways, that was what I was irritated at them today, to see what matches the traditional tarot from these cards. I wonder, I should check that now, what the 54th one would be. That would be 5 of pentagram, as I actually saw in the other card there. Yeah, I can understand that. And then the number 21 heritage, what would AI connect with that in the traditional tarot? 4 of pentagram, I would maybe say maybe 10, or I think, or there are many who could be that, but it's not bad. It's not bad of of AI to interpret it that way. So, anyways, so it could be. But now I will read her, and it's mainly it's connected to the frequency of her paintings, then rather than the text. But uh, if you have drawn this card upright, which we have, both are upright. Now is not the time to face your fears. This is the time to send yourself the message. I care too much about you to deny you. Yeah, okay. I care too much about you to deny you the feeling of safety, to say that to yourself. You deserve to feel a sense of surety in your safety and or stability. You deserve to experience an emotional state free from loss, fear, danger, and risk. What do you need in order to feel more secure? What do you need in order to feel safer? Do those things for yourself now. They may be things as big as ending a relationship, or they may be things as small as taking a bubble bath. It is not a crime to soothe yourself. It is not self loving to be living in a perpetual state of fear. Oh, how this talks to me. Not that I live in fear, but uh, in alertness, I guess you could say. So, and 21 one heritage, that is the underneath, that is the subconscious, that is where many of these patterns come from. Interesting. So I will read about that. Oh, number 21. And this booklet, by the way, also the gosh, do I get to the point? These pages, they are like loose. They don't hang together very well after you used it for a while. So I really don't like that. But anyway, I guess if you use it for a while, you will start to understand it so well, so you don't need to look in this, and that would be a good thing. I'm good. I'm glad it comes along with the cards, though. Otherwise, it would be difficult. But now, heritage. If you have drawn this card, obviously we have upright. Your goals are being helped by what you have inherited from generations before you. Look to the past for guidance. You are the progression of all that has come before you. Take their strength with you into your future and use them to attain your goals. I didn't think of this card that way, but that's fantastic. Discard their weaknesses. Yeah. It is your choice what you borrow from your family tree and what you do not. Take the time to acknowledge what you have inherited that benefits you. And that comes along also with a card from the wisdom of house night. No, wisdom of the house of night. I mean, the whole focusing on the positive and not bringing back to life all other things, all the other stuff. I have inherited so many wonderful things. My granddad could stop blood flow as well as his mother, and it was given to me after he passed. He wouldn't. He refused before he passed, but he promised to give it. And afterwards, I haven't tried that a lot. You don't usually, and also I can't use it on myself. I discovered, but it's fantastic. Just, and they are all actually psychic on that side. I think I haven't talked to each and every one of my cousins about that, but my mom, my uncle, my brother, I mean, everyone have this sensitivity, and I also I had it very strongly from the start, I guess. Also being very solid. I have a lot of the shamanic side also. I guess that comes more so from my Sami ancestors, natives. On my dad's side, he also dream solutions. I think he is a shaman without understanding that he is. He doesn't go into like eagerly practicing or trying to explore these paths, which I do though. So but I have a lot strengths from my ancestors, not only in the spiritual part, in the spiritual realm, but also very much so from all sides, in various ways, as well as also physical strength. My grandma on my father's side, my Sami grandma, my native grandmother, her mother's sister, they have this contest. Actually, they also have the farm. I mean, farm. Well, not then. They have like her father. They have reindeers and so. But anyways, her. I don't know if her mother also did this, but anyways, the sister there, they carried those bags to say like, but huge ones with 100 kilos of flour, not flowers, also I mean like flour who you could bake bread from and stuff like that. And that was like 3 Swedish miles, like 30 kilometers. They walked from one place to another, and they couldn't put this sack, or what do you call them, down, but they could lean towards something, and like they were allowed to pause as long as they didn't put that down. So they could stand and lean towards something if they were very tired or so. But she won that, and that were like men in that competition as well. I mean, think about it. That is a lot. That is legendary. I mean, I'm so impressed. And I have also I easily build muscles. I'm very lazy though. So, but I plan to start. I have planned that for long, to maybe exercise and so, because I so easily get strong. So I have also that. They were like so well, they did have to also to kind of survive, but and also she won then this bag of a huge bag of flour then, but because it was very scarce, many things up here at the time, I think. Anyway, very very strong. And two of these of my, what, I don't know if that was to the sisters of my grandma, maybe, I think, that actually worked out in the woods, then one with timber, and were like bringing the timber from the woods and all those things. They were super strong. And also my grandma she had those strongest hands also when she, whatever she did. My dad even asked her for help to open like lids on things, stuff like that, because, but also she could easily lift like 100 kilos. It was not a problem for her. They worked like she had this farm with animals and stuff, and they worked all the time, like. But so also the physical strength, and on my mother's side they're more so athletic and so in a different way, like quicker, or yeah, athletic in a different way, like football players, or but yeah, all that, both traumatic and dramatic stories on both sides, but as well as they survived mainly, and coped and made something beautiful, as much as they were able to, with that still. And yeah, so that was a really good message, I hope, for you too, to bring that on, because there are so many, and also very very fun personalities, very loving personalities. And yeah, I myself have an altar that is moved a lot around a little bit, because I don't have a lot of space. I should make more space, but where I have also my past ancestors that I have images of, that I have their photos up, and so on, as well as their names and so written down. I used to sometimes bring offerings to them, and so I mean they are very very close to me all the time, because also being a medium, I mean, they are around, so to speak. But this I haven't worked with a lot. And now when I did, I feel like, oh, I should do that a lot more. I think the reason I haven't is because I think sometimes she gets stuck in this mental space where I love to work with the medicine wheel, where you actually stop pulling all those threads in the west, so to speak, in the medicine wheel with just digging and making smaller and smaller and dissect everything like, and but rather sometimes be like, oh, it's enough now with taking the weeds out, and we want to plant something beautiful instead, which we do then in the north of the medicine wheel with soul. So I want to shift the focus towards that very much, but now these cards very much showed that path though, so now I love them more than usually. But also I think I've ignored them sometimes because of the little text in the book, honestly, that every time I wanted to like dive into them and get to know them better, I feel like, oh, I just I need to have a strong. Now I had strong light then, and then yeah, glasses, and still, you see, I'm very lazy like that. If something is in the way, I want to. No, but anyways, this was the deck that reflects my innate spiritual power and wisdom. Beautiful, also with a message there. But yeah, I think many things she share about her experiences I can relate to, and to, yeah, so many things. Not everything, not all the time, but wow, she is very enlightened, I would say, and she have taken a lot of shit and probably made mistakes. Who doesn't? But at the same time, yeah, yeah, I relate still to her very much. And then the last, a deck whose beauty is so divine that it transmutes any darkness and connects me to my heart. And I just think about her other deck now, but that's not the deck I mean for this. This is the deck, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot is the deck I chose for this. I just want to remember what she have those, what are they called? Well, I will remember. Anyway, anyways, this is the last one. A deck whose beauty is so divine that it transmutes any darkness and connects me to my heart. And it's not really the images. It could be because there are so extremely many beautiful decks. Some of my friends have the beautifulest decks that I don't have, and so on, that I really adore. And I also have lots of decks that are way more, let's say, beautiful in that sense. But this deck is, what can I say? Yeah, this connects me to my heart, and it connects me also, by the way, to the ancestors, and it connects me to protection. It connects me to realness and strength, and also to practices that transform things. They have also this soft coffee background. It also have this VVS in the back with what can I say? It's hard to describe, but if you Google that, you will see how they look like. But they are also super nice size. They're quite small, but not too small. They are very easy to work with the hands, and also feels very nice and soft. Like the softest is still the Stranger Things one, but still, this one, I think it is the beauty of this is what it contains in a cultural sense. This is obviously not my ancestors, or maybe far back, who knows. But I mean, I also have guides that I work with from this tradition, and one of my guides that was a voodoo priest in Haiti, his daughter lives in this town, up north in Sweden. What? And I didn't know this, but he came through and showed me and wanted to teach me and stuff from the spirit realm. And I mentioned this and to someone that about that, and then this person, I don't know that daughter, and also grandchildren, who knew who she is and what her dad's name, which is, it's not odd, but it's the way it's well, I won't go into the name, but anyway, that is the name of that her father. So maybe it's because I met her sometime. I have met her a few times, like on, I don't know if I would recognize her now, but on town, just seeing her, like, and so, and somehow maybe that's why I connected with him as a guide as well. But anyways, and she doesn't think, as I've understood it, that this is a good practice, because some use this in mean maybe ways or scary ways. But at the same time, they got liberated. They are the only ones that I've heard of that. Let me know if there are others, but the only ones that have freed themselves from slavery. And it was through these practices. And I'm not saying that you should, I mean, to begin with, this is practices of healing. That's why they work with dolls. That's why all the things. And it's very closely related to both shamanism and witchcraft. And if everything you do, even if you are the brightest love and light healer in the world, the more you are skilled in that, the more you can also harm. That is like always goes hand in hand. So it's not that it is the craft, let's say, that is the danger. It's the mindset. It's the persons that uses it. It's like sharp knives or having lots of muscles or whatever it is. It's like, it's not bad in itself. It depends what you use it for. You can protect with it. You can do various things with it. So, but so to me, this is very soft. This is very, very sweet. This is not, and I also, maybe depends on what you have on your conscience, actually, because I'm quite upfront. I'm quite clear, and I mean, it sounds strange to say that yourself. So quite innocent, but I mean, the spirit world knows who I am. People may not, and they may not want to like do smear campaigns or whatever about stuff for whatever reasons, but the spirit world knows, and I know who I am, and so they are very protective. Yeah. So I never feel. I always feel this is a good but very strong energy. I have a great respect for it. Great respect for it. I wouldn't play with it, and also I wouldn't suggest this as a first deck, just because of the. Some people are very interested in, like as I said about these ghost houses or like haunted houses and stuff like that, as sort of a thrill. Wow, now we're going to. I mean, if there is not greater respect for these kinds of things, you can really harm yourself. You need to maybe not know exactly what you're playing with, let's say, but your hearts need to be pure. Your intent need to be correct, not only to whatever situation you are in, but to others, ancestors as well, and so on. When I have been in conflict with people, I'm not saying that I always have made best choices ever and stuff, but I take in consideration that this person, whomever I may have a conflict with, or if they have treated me bad or what it is, they do also have their lineage of ancestors, and I have communicated with them to know how to proceed also, not only with mine or with the spirit guides, but actually, yeah. So anyways, so the reason I chose this for the deck with beauty is so divine that it transmutes any darkness and connects me to my heart is is because that it's because of the freedom that they they found a way to liberate themselves from those masters that use them as slaves. That's so powerful in itself. And who wants to work with these things if they aren't powerful? What's the point? You know, when it comes also to several things that I've done that is more new agey that I love, and they have also so deep and fantastic knowledge and whatever. But but when it comes to the things that I've tried and whatnot, it's still witchcraft that have been most efficient. Why wouldn't you use what's most efficient? But that is also the sharpest tool. I mean, that is the problem. You can hurt others, you can hurt yourself, not the least. So therefore I hesitate when I if I should teach someone the things that I know. I'm not saying I know all the things that are to know at all, but as far as I do know, and also the mistakes that I've made and stuff. But if I would, I need to know as much as I am able to. We never know what situations we will get into, so we may not even know ourselves. But at least that there is a reverence and there is a true calling. Yeah, is maybe the right word for it. Towards that path, it's not like something you can just yeah, on the surface level you can learn what it's about and so on, but to practice it, that takes time and it takes effort and it takes courage to meet yourself. um yeah, it's not an easy path. It's not an easy path, but it's rewarding. It's extremely rewarding and it's very, very powerful. So um yeah, it's different. It's very different from the more fluffy things, let's say, that isn't as efficient. That's my experience anyways, but others may find that something else is way more, I don't know. But I guess that's why I see feel the beauty of it, and I love that it embraces the wholeness. It's like honest in that way as I experience it. It's like fake news compared to news that are true and real, because many people just try to also be like, oh, it's the light side, we just la la la. It's like betraying reality almost, because this is, and it's a fearful approach also. It's not bad to focus on the bright and beautiful things, but it's limiting also. That it's the greatest power is actually in the darkness. The greatest power lays in the isn't not 99.9% of the universe that is dark matter or something like that. I don't know. I made that up. Maybe something, whatever else they say, but it's something else that is the unmanifest also, the power that we can learn to harness and work with. That is what we are also. And so we limit ourselves to some sort of ideal and push away the shadow side, which also holds all that power that we project then onto others and keep on and on with that. Never mind. But so I've described why I love it. And it's not that the imagery in this deck is the most beautiful. I As I said, there are many more beautiful decks, but the backside of it I love very much. But it's rather the content, and also the way it's described in the book and so on. I just this is very, very powerful and very favorable favor deck of mine. Okay, so first I get uh the Fool card reversed. So this is also a be careful card for me. As I said before, we got the Fool reversed in another deck. So don't jump ahead without being a little bit careful here. And then we get the Princess. I guess this is of swords or air elements. And this is also many things that I've learned. I'm more so very eclectic in a way, but also practices that are very, as I said, efficient in from these traditions. Yeah, this is very beautiful. She works here with bottles and stuff like, and yeah, very carefully. Anyway, and then we have 8 of fire reverse. So this is Symbol of Flambeau. They are French, by the way, the names of these, which I can't pronounce really. But so this is a passionate one that want to jump onto this snake with all the fires around. This 8 of wands also, or fire represents also that something is going very quick or very, very, very fiery. So it's about holding your passions a little bit cool down, and maybe also it's about aggressive, not be too harsh like that. But it could also be, since it's also called the arrows of love, sometimes this card, it could be that this is held back, that it's blocked somehow. But I take it with these cards together, I take it the central card is this Princess of Swords. It's like to clarify, to organize things, to protect, and to go to the basics and cleanse things, like also mentally, and like in connections or conversations or communication. Yeah, I would say, because that is the upright, that is the balanced card here, which is central. So not to jump ahead into new things, and don't be impulsive, don't do, even do things in a slow manner, meditative way, just to let yourself cool down and calm down. And underneath here in this deck is the grand bow, I think it says, yeah. And this is 2 of water reversed. This is, as it calls it, Congo. And Petro is the fire, and Rada is the air element here. But anyway, I reversed 2 of water here. And in this deck, this is a little bird coming whispering messages to this. But I think this is about also the same as almost the High Priestess reverse there. I mean, to very much listen into the intuition, sit on the porch and just relax and let yourself be receptive. Yeah, without any pressure. Just relax and realize that you will, if you calm down, you will see the signs, you will get the messages you need, and so on. So I will read the upright. I'm not sure if I will read the other ones, but this is Princess of Swords. That is very clear mentally then, and very communicative. Could be me. I'm not saying I'm so clear mentally, but at least I'm communicative. So here she is. There are like, here it looks like those buttercups. Is that the word? No, but some pantries. Like, anyway, the Huensis, that's like princess, I think, of air is the earth of air. It also, this kind of thing goes with Enoch and Scrying Tarot. There is this, it's earth of air, or air, or earth of water of air. It's like those kinds of things, and it's deeper. Don't go there. I mean, yeah, you could, but don't start there at least. So anyway, it is she who brings the amorphous drifting of air down to earth and gives them form and solidity. She takes the dreams of Ursuli Freda and the plans and strategies of Shango and gives them a physical reality. The aspect of this card is that of a Huensis carrying the pots, the tete, however you say it. It's something else, however you pronounce it. These are earthen jars that hold the tibonage, the little the or wheel of the voodooist for safekeeping. The human body and the pots, the tete, however you say, are both receptacles for the Loa. The Huensis looks, this can also be the priestess actually, but I think it means princess here, looks after the welfare of the jars in a protective and careful manner. So it's like, yeah, in the communication also being with the spirit guides and so on, being, as I said, reverent. And I think that is the beauty of this deck very much. It's clear that you don't play with this, in a reckless way. That's very, very, very stupid to do. They are very, very physical, these spiritual beings, I would call them. They are personalities in a very, very clear way compared to various other energies. Anyway, character traits of individuals covered by this card include wisdom in the handling of material affairs, ability to translate dreams into physical reality, firmness, and aggressiveness. Physically, she is apt to be a young woman with light brown or brownish black hair and light brown or blue eyes. Could be me, could be me. Although I have gray here now and not so young, but young in at heart, and those blue eyes. But um, it could be like they're not so. And these are like, there's a little more text when it comes to, I guess, most of the cards, not all the cards, but yeah, the majors at least. And there are many examples here, but these court cards are like, and they are also short forms of interpretations here, but they are a little short like that. And there, I guess, I wonder if there is no, I think there are no reversals in any of them, but if you know reversals, you can use that. But in that is, even if you want, I mean, even if it doesn't say so in the book here, then you already know how to do that. So but I will ignore that for now. I just said the interpretation that I did for the reversals there. The New Orleans Voodoo Tarot by Louise Martini, or however you say, and Sally Ann Glassman. So, but you can dive however deep. If you start with one of these, I mean, also I do I Ching, by the way. I think that is the one. This is not cards though. These are like, you can work with coins, and I with the arrow sticks mainly. When it comes to divination, there are even more ways. I mean, that is the go-to for me when something is really serious. Then I go to the. I also go to the communication directly with the spirits, obviously, but also without any tools. But I Ching is one of my favorites, but that's not cards or decks, so I won't even go there. But they exist, by the way. I don't have that, but actually they do exist, and also with a Enochian and Tatwa scrying, the Enochian scrying tarot and the Tatwa tarot on the other side, they also actually connect to I Ching, those cards, by the way. But there are also cards that are just I Ching cards. That's 64 cards, I guess they are then. So they actually exist. Maybe I have to get one of those decks because it's just a deck. But I do believe in the mathematical in China. So they are considered. I'm not sure everyone does consider, but they're considered as a science rather, not like a tool like that. But also in those Japan and those places, the whole thing of seeing auras and experience energy, and that is common knowledge. That is not like odd or weird. So like it is here in West sometimes. But so when you use the yarrow sticks, it's mathematically correct. Even not sometimes when the cat is awake, so she won't play with all the stuff, I could use coins, but usually I use sticks because of that correctness mathematically, as well as the connectedness with the sticks themselves and the process, the meditative process that takes some time to do that process of figuring out the hexagram. So okay, God, this was long. I will just end now and hope someone gets something out of that. Take care, everyone. And I'm sorry that I won't film, and I hope you can find images of these cards if you're interested. But that is for now, and I have a bunch of other decks that I also love, so I feel now that I'm unfair towards those. But yeah, for now. Yeah, many other decks that I absolutely hold close to, not to my chest, but I hold dear. So yeah, anyway. Take care. And they also relate to, by the way, the image I have here of the chakras and so different cards also somewhat connect to different, and I guess that relates to the questions as well, connects to different chakras more so. They have like a vibes that connect more so to one of those, I feel. Yeah, you can use them in various ways that you find good for yourself, whatever. Now I'll take this away and I will end. So yeah, talk 2:44 it was. So take care, everyone. Right, if you have any questions or whatever, take care. Talk later. Bye.